So with Christmas all put away, which is such a monumental task, and it takes me so much longer to do it than I think it's gonna take, because for me, decorating for Christmas or decorating for Halloween, it's kind of like going on vacation, where you're really excited to go on vacation. The flight doesn't take long, you know, everything's great, but then coming back, you dread it. So for me, I think the decorating part is the fun part. Putting it away is the oh, this is where the sheer will and determination comes through. Now, I'm always excited for spring decorating, because spring to me is all about the refresh. It's all about what have you been looking at for the last, you know, in my case, 4 months, you know, September through December. What have you been looking at that you want to change? What are you sick of? What is going to come next? Because once I do the spring decorating, it's really spring, summer. It lasts through summer. I will not end up touching really any of this until September. So then the question becomes, what are you going to do with your house the rest of the time? Now, because I have all of you, my near and dear, a lot of this holiday season was spent trying to figure out what phase 2 of the house is going to look like, room by room, how much is going to change, and how much will change this year, because I have enough content right now to make videos for the next full year. That's how much content I have. I don't want to do that in the sense of just dumping it all out for you, because I want to do things that are fresh and new as they come about, and not just, here's another photo montage of something that I did 2 years ago. I don't want to do that. In today's video, we're going to talk about some of the changes that are coming to the house. I'm not going to get too in depth with you guys, because some of the changes are best left for when we get to that room, and I don't want to, you know, kind of shoot the horse with the foot. I think for what it is, this video is going to be a great little break before everything gets going next week. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So I got this olive tree from Amazon, and I need like a vessel to put it in, because I was gonna hide it behind the sofa in the parlor, but it looked really stupid back there. So I am at home now trying to find something, and I don't have a lot of confidence in my abilities here, because I am not a potted plant person, because I'm always afraid they're gonna look stupid. So wish me luck. That's the one that I chose from at home, and it's okay. The texture gives me the ick, because I don't like that texture. I also don't like the texture of cotton swabs, so you can know that. I want the tree to sit a little bit higher up in it, so I have a brick that I'm gonna put in the bottom just to get a little bit of height. I have some Spanish moss and some, I don't know what it is, reindeer moss, to put around the base so that it's not exposed the way it is. So let's put that together. I'm gonna fill it up with some foam left over from a craft project that you're never gonna see because I hated it. This is a workout. Getting warm. Last night, I rearranged the parlor. The parlor has been very tricky from day one, with the windows that, you know, they bow outward. I have not settled at all on what it's going to look like, but I think I am on the right track now. So I rearranged that last night. The living room is getting ready to be rearranged as well. I get very set in my ways on keeping stuff where I put it. This rug goes in the living room, and it was in the living room at your last house, and it should be in the living room at this one. Why? There's no reason why. So today I ordered 2 new rugs off of Ruggable. I have never ordered off of there before. I've heard good things. I'm sure there are bad things as well. The rug in the parlor is going to transfer into my study because that rug is from Amazon and it's just not great. I didn't love it from day one. You can't vacuum it because it's so lightweight that it like sucks up into the vacuum. The rug here in the living room, which is blue, and I do love this rug. I do love it. That is going to go up into my bedroom, which is also blue. I'm going to move this rug upstairs now. I am waiting on a callback from my friend Andrew to see if I can con him into coming over and helping me lift my bed up so that the rug can go underneath it. Until I hear from him, I will start moving that rug. So that's probably about all I'm gonna get done tonight. Again, this is the big level set. Those other rugs won't be here for a week, so I have time to kind of screw around with things, but let's do it. It's been a couple days since I kind of started rearranging the living room here. So that TV is normally in this corner and it's not staying before I can move it because it's gonna shimmy straight behind me. There's quite a large mirror in its place. I'm gonna move that mirror to the wall where the TV had been. My gray sofa was picked up this morning by a lovely couple up in Door County, and that is in lieu of my new sofa coming in a few weeks. I'm also waiting right now for a new rug, a 9x12, because it's been 8x10s in here until then, and they've always been too small. It looks crazy in here right now, very off-putting to me, but I'm gonna move that mirror, get that done, and then see what else I can figure out along the way. I don't know if I've talked about this salt lamp. So I got this close from IKEA and I massacred a hole into the base of it so I could run the cord through because the light comes out of this. I think the lamp itself was from Target years ago. You can probably find them on Amazon now, but I love this thing. You guys are getting all these behind the scenes things. This was before I had done something. Oh, I had to do all this because I was moving the mirror upward for Christmas because it was never centered. This wall is very tricky in here because there is a 5-inch height difference from the outer wall of the house toward the inner because it has settled so much in 130 years. There is a very, very large project in store for the living room this summer. For now, we're gonna take this down, patch these holes, and then I'll touch up the paint on it so that it's not a glaringly ugly thing. I've had people comment a lot in the past on like how much damage I do to my walls. I use the term damage loosely. How many holes I put in my walls. I move things a lot. Like I've said, I get bored with a layout. I want to change it. I think that's the charming annoyance of me. Holes, like holes in walls, they're just holes. You can, spackle is not expensive if you have leftover paint, which you should. I don't know, you just put it on, sand it, and paint it. Who cares? I'm never gonna be one of those people that doesn't make adjustments to my space because I don't want to have to do the cleanup afterward. I just think that's like, what's the point? I know I just teased what's gonna happen, but basically one of the things that's gonna happen in this room is this entire wall is going to be ripped down. Not removed, but this is not a real wall. It's a facade over the ductwork, and I recently discovered that the ductwork is not as robust as I thought it was. So I have plans on what I'm gonna do to bring some character back to this room. Okay, so I've marked where the middle of the dresser is because the dresser is centered where I want it to be. And I've marked my height for where the bracket is. Rather than using 3 anchors for the rail that the mirror sits on, the mirror is so freaking heavy, it makes more sense to me to have like a mounting board that I can do multiple things. It is plaster and lathe behind this wall also. It's not easy putting anchors in because the plaster just shatters. Like I said, that wall's coming out. This wall is also coming out. This is an external wall with very bad insulation behind it. So this is another step of the process for the summertime. I'm gonna get 1 screw in and then level it so that I can get the rest going. While my board is level, I also want to make sure that the bracket is level. And in the end, this doesn't really matter because the mirror is circular and you're not going to tell if it's not level. All right, moment of truth. Where's the thing? Oh my God, it's so heavy. I have no strength. I don't want to let go because I don't know if it's in the things or if it's like stuck on top, I'm afraid. I think it's in. That's what she said. Please God, I can't see. Use my spotlight here. Oh yeah, it's in there, okay. I'm thinking that's centered. That is not centered, which is okay. I want it centered on the dresser, not, the corner to the drapes. That is centered. This is fine. It's only for a few months until, it gets warm outside and we can start tearing walls down. Yes. Something else to know about the living room. When I painted it originally, it is this kind of army green color called Meadow Trail from Sherwin-Williams. Oh shit. I love the color. I have no plans of changing it. And when those 2 walls come down, and also this wall, because while there's an interior wall that can change and an exterior that has very bad insulation, this wall is the only wall in the house that is original on the inside and the outside. So whatever insulation is in this wall is from 1893. This wall will also get redone. Also, the plaster is failing on this wall and it's been repaired several times. So it's time to update and all the wiring too. I'm getting way off track here. I love this color. The other colors in the house, specifically downstairs, are very rich colors. And the new sofa that is coming is also a very rich green. It's gonna look fantastic in this room, but the ottoman that had been in here was a very rich green. I like incorporating greens, specifically like plant life greens. Fake, not real, because I'll kill it. So the plan with this whole kind of whoop-de-doo of moving everything, that ottoman is getting moved to the parlor because I'm bringing the rich green tone in there. And in here, we're gonna be focusing a lot more on browns. So amping up the brown that's in this green, I've got the camel colored drapes, the new rug that is coming, a new coffee table and side table that are a very rich brown. I have the brown leather armchair in here. Everything needs to get kind of pulled away from the rich greens, and I'll let the sofa, which is a Chesterfield sofa, I will let that speak for itself and be the moment of the living room. I'm gonna decorate the dresser now. I've been collecting vintage books for the last year. Special shout out to my very good friend, oldest friend, Jill, who has been supplying me with quite the arsenal of old books. So if you live in the Fox Valley and you have old books that you don't want and you want to give them to me, I will take them because I will put them everywhere. But let's decorate a dresser. I did a little musical chairs with lamps in the house because, like I said earlier, this is all about moving things that have been in their places since the day I got them, which these lamps have been in my bedroom for 4 years probably. And they're cool lamps. And the other ones are very mid-century, which this living room is not mid-century. Let's decorate this because I have no idea what the hell I'm gonna do here and it's probably gonna take me a while, so cue the music. Tell you that doesn't want to fit in there, but it's gonna fit in there, so. Clearly, these books are not vintage, but I have a trick for that. So let's make a quick detour to the kitchen and revisit high school. We're going to be covering our books. While I love these books, they've been sitting on my bookshelf in my study. In high school, you would use brown paper bags to cover your books. A great investment, because it's not expensive at all, is a roll of craft paper, butcher paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover our books. You can write on the binding when it's done of what it is if you want to, or you can leave it blank. So last year, just before Christmas, I asked my father to build me this console. I wanted it behind my sofa because I am not someone that likes having a sofa against a wall with nothing behind it. To me, it just looks unfinished. And in my own spaces, it feels cheap to me because I feel like I could do more. So I asked for this console. I wanted it super narrow. It's going up against the stairwell here, which is great because then I can put a runner on the floor and this feels more like an entry rather than walking straight into a living room. We're gonna dress this baby up. I've got a whole bunch of flameless candles to put on it. I've already sort of prearranged everything on the ground for the top and then the bottom. And the goal is to get height with this. So we are not going to have a peak in the middle for height because it felt weird against how the stairs go up. And because this is, I want to say it's 8 inches across, we're a little bit limited on what we can do to achieve depth. Let's put this together. I've also coordinated my books so that they are all in the very greeny blue and neutral, which kind of matches the vibe for right here. So let's put this together. Beads are a good way to pull together. I don't know what the right term would be, but it just kind of creates a little bit of like a visual sweep to tie it in. Okay, let's see here. I'm doing stuff with a lot of moss for spring and summer just because it's usually pretty cheap and it's just pretty to look at. But I will say it does smell when you open it up. I almost forgot to record the second part of this. One of the things that I have noticed I have a problem with is this corner in the kitchen. And I never used to, and there were 4 pictures hanging here and whatever, but I used to have a different dining table. And when I got this one, I just felt like this corner was empty. I had the olive tree over here. I hated how it looked with the paint color in here. It's happy in the living room now, and that's great for it. I love that journey for it. I needed something here, so I decided this corner would work for drapes because the kitchen is gigantic. I want to kind of pull this end of the kitchen in a little bit more. I got some drapery rods. These are gonna get mounted to go almost back to the corner, and then the drapes are just gonna stay kind of tucked back there. Let's drill some studs and get this going. I have a bit of an abnormal way of hanging drape rods. I've been bitten too many times by measuring it all out and then having the floor was uneven or the ceiling was uneven and you didn't do it right. Now it's crooked and I have to redo it. So now I just mount one side and I put the bar in, and then if the bar's level, then I just mark the other side. I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. It's just what works for me. This last one's gonna be a little bit harder. When they get to a certain length, you're supposed to use the center support, and I don't wanna use that for this because I'm gonna have both drapes that cover this window all the way to the end. If you have a center support, you're not gonna be able to move them. I'm sure it'll be fine. You know, it's never not fine. So that one is perfectly straight, but the ceiling is not. So it looks a little crooked, but I think once the fabric's on it, you're not gonna know. There is a second reason that I forgot to mention of why I'm putting these up. In the summertime, the sun in the afternoon and evening is straight through the back of the house and it is hotter than hell in the kitchen. Having the ability in the summer to close this off and prevent that sunlight is going to be delicioso. Is this wide enough to cover the window? Oh, just barely. Came. The one for the living room already came and I forgot to record it, so I'm gonna record opening this one up. And just a reminder, I am not sponsored by them. I just took advantage of a deal. You know, I know through a lot of this process, I ended up relying a lot on my books, and that is something that gives me insight to how to decorate in the future. Where am I missing decorative objects? I need to start hitting up antique stores and little curiosity shops and just finding, you know, interesting things that are gonna stand out rather than, you know, books. Books are great, I love them, but it ends up becoming a bit of a run-on sentence if you have nothing else. All right, we have got one final thing to put together, and then that's a wrap. So this tray is gonna live right here on this island, and we're gonna fill it up with some stuff. So before we get to final looks today, thank you all for joining. I am very excited to see where all of this is gonna lead, because, you know, I don't know anything about anything. I do know it's going in a fun direction. My hope is that I figure out what I'm doing backwards here, since I already staged it off camera. If you do any of this for yourself, if you have any tricks of your own that you follow for spring to get ready for things, whatever that you like doing, please make sure that you comment and let me know. Also, follow me on Instagram at restoring_Sean. That way you have a direct line to me and you can share some photos a little bit easier of your own space, or tell me what you do with old Christmas candy that you don't have a plan for, because no one likes peppermint pinwheels apparently. And with that, we are ready. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have a great day. Take care, and I will see you next week when we start talking about the kitchen. See you soon.